Welcome to Wrestling Talk episode 26. Today we're going to be talking about the Dream pay-per-view, AEW versus WWE. So, I will talk about the matches that I think would main event the show, kick off the show. I'll be talking about all the matches that would be on the supposed card, and no New Japan or wrestlers who just appear there for one or two appearances. They have to be on the roster officially. And what counts as an AEW star, and this is my knowledge of AEW, which is not much because I don't really watch it. I have watched it occasionally, and it is good from what I could tell. At least the men's division, I could tell they kind of want to try to push the women's division just a little more. So I'm okay with it. I think that AEW has some really talented women's wrestlers. They have Sasha Banks or Mercedes Monroe, Mercedes Monet or something. It's like a French accent of Monet. But okay, so let's start off with a big one right here. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. This will main event the show. AEW Champion Samoa Joe. I said Jon Moxley, but he's not a champion. Okay. AEW Champion Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns as Seth Rollins. No, let's do this. I will count the Ring of Honor roster as part of the AEW roster. So it will be Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe, and I would say Roman Reigns. And the winner gets to keep all three titles, okay? The next match I would like to see is a match. Okay, listen to music in the car, so let me tell you who I think is going to win between my two favorite wrestlers, Darby Allin and Drew McIntyre. That's what match I want to see. Or you could throw Sami Zayn in there, but I'm going to put Drew McIntyre in there, because they're my two favorite from the leagues, the divisions. Another match I see happening is the Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day versus... Oh, there is no Tag Team Champion. So, I would have to improvise here. Improvise here a little bit. Who is that? Darby Allin wouldn't wrestle 2 nights in a row, but I'm gonna say the tag team tournament is won by the Jon Moxley and Cesaro if they're in it, and they'll face for the championships, and winner will be the championship of both. And then we have a mid-card title battle royal, which will be all the mid-card title holders, which will be the 8. Kazuchika Okada as the Continental Champion, Roderick Strong, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, who else? Logan Paul, Gunther, Gunther, and just throw a fifth one in there, the NXT champion, the NXT North America champion Fale or whatever his name is, and Charlie Dempsey, the NXT Heritage Cup. And for Ring of Honor, I'll throw in Kyle Fletcher or whatever his name is, and Will Wheeler and all of them would battle to hold these championships. I know this seems a little far-fetched, because it is. Okay, so then Chris Jericho versus the oldest member of the WWE roster currently, which I think it's either Randy Orton. Oh no, here's what I want to see. A rematch between AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. Note that they're both more, know that they're both further up in their career. That I can see happening. And then Adam, I forgot to end it. And then Edge, even though he's the TNT champion, he ain't gonna lose the title because AEW needs to keep one of their champions. So AEW will put Edge against... I honestly think Edge and Dragon Lee would fight for the TNT title at the show. And I feel like WWE would willingly put up NXT's titles in this pay-per-view setting. So I'm going to put the NXT's current champion Ilya Dragunov versus I would love to see him versus there's someone I think that WWE would give a push to it. I'm not even sure if they're currently an AEW superstar, but the last time I knew it, he was signed to them. Ryan Nemeth, or Dolph Ziggler's brother, would get the NXT title shot against Dragunov, and the other titles would be on the line. And then the Women's Championships, Toni Storm, it will be a fatal 5-way. A fatal whatever way. Mercedes, Toni Storm, Julia Hart, Io Sky, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Lyra Valkyrie, and they'll all defend their titles against each other. And then that would be as far as... Then if we want to get really interesting with this, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Nitty-gritty. Okay, so here's who I think will win. And not who will win the matches, but... now let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. Now let's say they avoid setting titles altogether. Here's what the card could possibly look like. The main event will, of course, be Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, all facing off against each other. And then I would see Eddie Kingston versus... I want to see Eddie Kingston versus... what's his face? Eddie Kingston versus... maybe someone like Rey Mysterio. No, Eddie Kingston versus Logan Paul. And then, these are without the titles on the line. Kazuchika Okada versus Shinsuke Nakamura would be the next match. AJ Styles versus Christian Cage. And then Mercedes Moné versus Tiffany Stratton. Then you have LA Knight and Samoa, like, LA Knight and who's someone who decently popular in AEW, like, LA Knight, and I would compare, like, maybe, like, Darby Allin, two people who shouldn't be as popular as they are, but are still very much really popular of late. MJF versus The Miz. Matt and Jeff Hardy versus the Judgment Day. Adam Copeland or Edge versus Edge. Adam Copeland versus this would be like I would like to see this. Adam Copeland versus Randy Orton. Oh, that we already seen it, but I would like to see one final match between the two, and then the last match without it would be Bryan Danielson versus Dragon Lee. Two underdogs going at it, and I think that would have potential to be a really good match. So that's my two options for the AEW and WWE Super Show. This is Hideo Midori. Goodbye.